folks, welcome back to Indaba Africa. This is Chris once again. Hey folks, welcome back to Chris White Africa here on the Indaba Africa channel, part of the Indaba Broadcasting Network. A lot of Indabas in there. Hopefully we decide something useful out of all those consultations and meetings. Welcome everybody. Joking Atheist says, going to bed. Who's going to bed? Anyway, StarCraft. I love StarCraft. Welcome back, folks. We are anxiously awaiting. We are now just minutes away from the Mars Perseverance rover beginning its descent. It's 7 minutes of hell from the atmosphere, or above the atmosphere of Mars, down to the surface of Mars, headed for the Jezero crater, the $2.7 billion exploration mission. We are ready, folks. Just minutes away. 3 minutes from now, the Mars Perseverance rover will begin its descent through the thin Martian atmosphere, headed for the Jezero crater, and we won't even see it. Why? Because it's too far away. Hello to everybody, and welcome for those who tuned in. Appreciate it. For the approximately half the audience that we kept from the last stream, thanks for coming over with us. Those who are new, thanks for popping in. Frank Cloy, you and me both. What are you talking about? Live chat. I missed something. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us, folks. Now, no need to panic. Relax, calm down, because we're okay, because what's happening right now is the Perseverance will begin its descent in 3 minutes, but we won't even know it's begun its descent until 12 minutes after that. So that won't be till the top of the hour, which is approximately 18 minutes from now. And then we'll find out. Is that right? Did I do my math right? No, not 3 minutes. It's in 6 minutes. Right? Huh? 6 minutes, not 3 minutes. My bad. Bad math there. Oh, failure. I must be using Common Core or ANC matrix standards. I can't count the time. I'm sorry, folks. We are 5 minutes away from the Perseverance beginning its descent through the thin Martian atmosphere, the descent down to the surface of Mars. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. Frank Cloy, Mr. Punisher, Jake Ellis, Brandon, Amy, Justine LaRue, Bav Z307, Rebellious Ruth, Mr. Savage, Brandon, Dietrich Busha, Cameron Heslop is here, Johan Badenhorst, Malcolm Stark, Lezan is back, Nico Nell, Erica, Bosch Zebra, MF, Nick Muller. Wow, everybody's chatting. Leanne Prentice. Am I missing? And I'm catching up in the chat now. The Mountain Goat. Okay. That should be interesting to see what happens there. Mods, keep your eyes open. Hank Adrian Zay. Ants 42, Bram Janssen von Rensburg, Garth McCarthy. Carl's back once again. Lazon. Beth Frazier's here. Blake says hi. Second grader watching with me. Cool. Hello, Blake. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We are going to switch over to NASA's coverage here just in a few minutes. And then I will provide some commentary during NASA's stream. Sounds like Malema, Pinocchio, and the Key. Hopefully no boom. No. Well, if there's a boom shakalaka, we won't see it because it's a long ways off. Marnus Hayden says you can do it. You can do it. Let's see. All right, folks, we are now just 4 minutes from the descent beginning. You won't see it in 4 minutes, and you won't see it until the top of the hour. Hopefully, the telemetry data and the information will start coming in at that time frame. Right. Barbara Schillingall is back again. Welcome you once again. $2.7 billion car-size Mars rover, Perseverance. 85% of this particular rover is existing content from the previous missions dating back to 1997. Of course, we had the Viking landers there back in the 1970s, 76, and then nothing again until 97, 21 years later. Since then, this is the fifth attempt to land Martian rovers. The Perseverance is a unique one. It has all kinds of capabilities that the previous mission did not have, including ground-based radar. It can ground-penetrating radar. It can go 10 meters deep below the Martian surface or 33 feet, looking for signs of ancient life. Pretty cool. Also has a few other little toys on it. I'm trying to find those toys. It has X-ray spectrometer on it and an ultraviolet laser. How cool is that? As Dr. Evil would say, can I get some frickin' sharks in here with ultraviolet lasers on them? Malcolm says he'll watch tomorrow. All right, Malcolm, sorry you got to drop off. I hope you're well rested. Garrett says, yeah, what better way to spend my time but listening to you while I prep for my D&D stream? D&D? Ooh, you've got streams too. Wow. NASA has 1.7 million people watching their stream. Yep, that's pretty impressive. People love this stuff, folks. I mean, when we watch SpaceX streams, it's pretty amazing. That's some pretty cool stuff. Brett says you are delaying my streaming, space nerd. Just kidding. Your aunt called. Oh, okay. And Nick Muller just gave 70 Rand through the super chat. And what did he say? Thanks for making the stream. Thanks for the stream, Colonel. History in the making. It is. It is. Nick Muller, you're absolutely right. This is history in the making. Folks, we are 2 minutes and counting from the Mars Perseverance rover beginning its descent through the Martian atmosphere down to the surface. 7 minutes of hell. 7 minutes of hell. Cool beans. How cool is that? Yep. What else? So they're going to map the surface with this. They're going to use the ground penetrating radar to go through layers of rocks and sand, and ice, looking for signs of life, ancient life. Wow. This is so cool. So cool. Lars Salas has a good question for Garth. Do you play live or do you stream about D&D? Be pretty cool. I haven't played D&D in a long time. Back in college the last time I played. Yep. And this mission is different because the Perseverance is designed to collect samples, and then those samples are intended to come back to planet Earth, the big blue marble, by 2031 at the latest, a joint venture between the European Space Agency and NASA. Well, 1 minute before it goes, before I do, folks, I don't have a JPL shirt, and I don't have a Houston shirt, but I have been to the Kennedy Space Center, and I am wearing my Kennedy Space Center, which is a year older than I am. I am wearing my Kennedy Space Center shirt in honor of NASA's mission. We are waiting. It is now time for Perseverance to go down. Well, let me switch over to NASA. You're not going to see anything, but let me just switch over anyway. And then I'm going to take myself off the screen and start doing things a little bit differently here. We'll pick up the NASA feed and carry it the rest of the way, folks. All right, you ready for that? Let me go ahead and shut down my screen. I'll still be here.
Seconds from entry interface.
10, 9,
5.3
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Atmospheric entry. Here's the animation, folks.
We have confirmation of entry interface. Perseverance is currently going 5.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 120 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
120 kilometers above the surface currently.
The ship is now waiting until it begins feeling the atmosphere of Mars slow it down. Once there is enough atmosphere, it will start controlling its path to the landing target. Navigation is also confirming that we can see a little bit of that slowdown of the atmosphere on the Perseverance entry capsule. Our current velocity is about 5.36 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We are probably seeing MRO plasma blackout at this point.
The vehicle should be doing its turns right now.
MRO has lost lock.
Perseverance. We have indications that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control its distance to the landing target.
Controlling its attitude.
Just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10 Earth Gs of deceleration.
Ho, ho,
MRO
ho.
has lock again.
We saw a small outage of the UHF telemetry from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter during that peak heating phase, likely caused by the plasma blackout. Perseverance is still continuing to perform bank reversals in the atmosphere to control its distance to the landing target.
Double mask. Oh, gosh. How cool is this species, folks, that we do this stuff?
Perseverance is going about 1 kilometers per second at an altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have entered heading alignment, which means Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, to the target on Mars, but instead is flying straight to the target.
Fingers crossed, folks. 3 minutes into descent, 4 minutes to go. 10 G's, that's brutal. That'll make you black out. Just
Our
a
current
crater.
velocity is about 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface.
MRO is reporting good telemetry log.
We are coming upon the straighten up. We are starting the straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground. The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed, and we are seeing significant deceleration in the velocity. Our current velocity is 440 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
You're 2 minutes from landing, folks. Parachute has deployed. Only in America.
Perseverance has now slowed to subsonic speeds, and the heat shield has been separated. This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface.
It's going to come down quick now. No, Zed, it's not supposed to land for 2 minutes. No, Eric, it's been traveling since July 30th of last year.
Yes.
Good news.
Perseverance now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers of the surface.
Hitting all the
Perseverance
checks.
is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization
1
of
minute
relative
from
navigation
touchdown.
and subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers. We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution.
Yes.
As part of terrain relative navigation.
Awesome.
We have priming of the landing engines.
Priming the engines. We're less than a minute from touchdown.
Current velocity is 83 meters per second at about 2.6 kilometers from the surface of Mars.
Ah.
Confirmation that the back shell has separated. We are currently performing the divert maneuver. Current velocity is about 75 meters per second at an altitude of about a kilometer off the surface of Mars.
She's doing a great job narrating this.
Bravo.
She's doing a great
We
job.
have completed our terrain relative navigation. Current speed is about 30 meters per second, altitude of about 300 meters off the surface of Mars.
So close, folks. Fingers crossed. We are in the final minute. Seconds away from touchdown to surface of
We
Mars.
have started our constant velocity accordion, which means we are conducting the sky crane
Maneuver.
conduct the sky crane maneuver.
Sky crane maneuver coming up.
Earth tones.
As expected. As expected.
Sky crane maneuver has started. About 20 meters off the surface.
We're getting signals from MRO.
It should be on the ground.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance
There it is.
safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the sands of past life.
Now, I don't mean to bust everybody's bubble, and they're all excited and everything, but the data takes 12 minutes to get back, so this is simulated. Their joy may not be simulated, but we clearly, the rover, we don't know that it's landed yet. We hope that it's landed. We won't know for another 3 or 4 minutes whether the actual descent began the way they've just played it out. So congratulations to NASA, but until 1607, I'm not going to pop that cork on the champagne bottle because it hasn't really happened, at least for us. It's happened on Mars, but the date is not here yet, so pretty funny stuff. So anyway, hang in there, folks.
We got it.
Touchdown confirmed. We're going to wait for the images.
Yeah, I got to wait for the images.
This is so exciting. The team is beside themselves. It's so surreal. Stay tuned. We might get some pictures.
Well, we are staying tuned for the pictures. All right, we're 3 minutes from the first data that should be arriving back from telemetry on the descent.
So much has been riding on this.
Schrodinger's rover.
Yeah, we just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars.
It's not
Flight, we have seen the completion of EDL 3000. Copy activity. That is as expected.
I thought there weren't any women in science. That room is full of women. Or are they just a bunch of dudes dressed up as women? Remember? STEM? Women are never in science?
Seeing a strong signal from the lander.
What a load of crap. Oh, we got a signal. There it is. Still 2 minutes ago. Gender fluid, says Amy.
We have just heard the news that Perseverance is alive on the surface of Mars. Congratulations to the mission. And looks like we have some more news in. It looks like we're getting the first image. Here, take a look at the first image.
Of course, that's an image from space.
This is OL3.
Is that the best they can do, that tiny little screen image up there?
Point on the map when you are ready.
We are ready, OL3. Go for it.
If you only see 3 women, Cameron, you're not looking very hard. See, that's the image right there above the Mars 2020. And that's from orbit. Oh, there you go. It's on it to the right.
Flight, I'll be moving in, showing you the safe zone that we've landed in.
There it is.
Just put the first image from Perseverance on the surface of Mars. Now, it comes from the engineering cameras, known as the hazard camera. This camera is mainly used to help the rover drive safely around Mars, and we will get higher resolution photos later in the day.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering if the Martians are double masked. Well, that's a pretty clear image. Man, that lot in Hollywood is pretty good, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Blake likes it. Cool breath. Isn't this really cool? Really, really cool. I swear Jesus is fake.
For Steve. Stand by for Steve.
Well, the primary problem with Mars Victoria is that Mars' core was too small and it cooled off too quickly, and so it lost its atmosphere because it didn't have a protective magnetic shield, and its atmosphere was sheared off by the solar radiation, the solar wind, and that's what happened. Look at that. It looks suspiciously like the Sahel. Did anybody see a lander somewhere in Niger or Mali today? Yes, we're going to see a video, Tony. We're hanging around for that. Welcome, Tony Nagy, in from Alberta, where they lock up Christian pastors.
Our second image.
There you go,
is in.
second one.
Okay, these we have a camera in the front and out rear of the
Whoa.
the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. So you can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because we've got glass covers over these cameras. but we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event. So this is happening. This happened just seconds ago. Just arrived, and this is really amazing. And we even know where we landed. This is the most amazing thing.
We even know where we landed.
We figured it out. This is a sign. NASA works. NASA works. And we put our arms together and our hands together and our brains together, we can succeed. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country on all of the problems we have. We need to work together.
Not on the budget that Barack Obama gives you.
Make success happen.
Ants is pretty happy about this. I'm with you, Ants. It's pretty cool, man. What a species can accomplish.
Joining us now is the acting administrator of NASA, Steve Jurczyk. Steve, welcome and congratulations.
Pretty cool for him.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing day.
How does it feel to have another rover on Mars?
It's amazing to have Perseverance join Curiosity on Mars, and what just a credit to the team. I mean, just what an amazing team to work through all the adversity that goes and all the challenges that go with landing a rover on Mars, plus the challenges of COVID, and just an amazing accomplishment.
And what does this mean for NASA and its future plans?
So for robotic exploration, every time we execute a mission with new instruments, we discover new things and things we never thought we would discover. So that always informs our future robotic missions, both landers, rovers, and orbiters. This mission also has technology on it. One of the cool things is the Ingenuity helicopter. It's an experiment on this mission, but if it's successful, we can use it as an science observation platform by putting instruments on it, and also use it as a scout for future rover missions, and then just the entry, set, and landing capability. It'll allow us to land more larger, more ambitious robots on the surface of Mars, and then for human exploration. We have the Mars Entry, Set, and Landing Instrumentation, which is going to give us EDL information. We have the Mars Environmental Dynamics Analyzer. It's going to give us size and properties of dust particles, because when we send people, we're going to have to deal with that dust. This is just an incredible mission because of the science and the technology, and then caching samples for a Mars Sample Return mission. That will be an amazing mission, the first round trip to Mars and back, and bringing those samples cached by Perseverance back to Earth to examine with state-of-the-art equipment in our laboratories here on Earth.
We have so much to look forward to, and we also have a student question coming in from Landon. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Landon Applegate. I'm in 6th grade, and I'm going to Academy for Academic Excellence. And my question is, do you think we could get resources from Mars to help on future missions, or even as like a launching point?
Yep, oxygen.
Great question, Landon. Actually, we have an experiment called the Mars
Moxie.
Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, or MOXIE, and it's going to demonstrate generating oxygen from atmospheric CO2. And that could help generate breathable oxygen, and even if we can liquefy it, oxidizer for propulsion systems. So that's a tech demo on Perseverance. And then we're going to continue to characterize the frozen water on and below the surface of Mars, and eventually try to figure out how to extract that water from the Martian soil, or what we call regolith. And then we can use that for potable water, and also break it down into oxygen and hydrogen for rocket fuel. So absolutely, we're going to try to eventually figure out how to live off the land to support human missions to Mars.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today, Steve.
Thank you.
And now that Perseverance has safely touched down on Mars, let's learn more about what's in store for the rover. Joining us now is Surface Mission Manager Jessica Samuels. Jessica, your surface operations team has now taken over. What are they doing now?
Yes, hi Raquel. We are so excited here in the Surface Mission Support area. The team will do a handover with the entry, descent, and landing team and pass any critical information. And then this team behind us will be the team that does the health and safety assessments daily as we progress on this mission.
And what do the upcoming weeks look like for your team?
So as we enter Mars time now, the commanding team will be working overnight while the rover is asleep so that we can perform the initial checkouts of our key rover functions and our science instruments. And we have to do this all in time for the regularly scheduled communication pass, which happens in the morning. And so we will be working around the clock, making sure that Perseverance is healthy, and we will begin this exciting adventure.
And can you tell me, what's it like living on Mars time?
It's a little bit like constantly, flying and changing your time zone. The rover, on Earth, the rover wakes up at the same time every day, but on Earth, that's 40 minutes later. So the team is going to be shifting our work schedule by 40 minutes as we come into work over the next few weeks.
Wow.
So it'll be exciting. And some late nights, but we're also excited, and we can't wait.
No women in
Only
science.
Lifestyle. Yes.
No women in science.
We also have a student question for you. This is Sophia's video.
Hi, my name is Sofia Lopez, and my question for NASA is, how's Perseverance gonna survive? And here's a drawing that I made from Perseverance thinking about Earth. Thank you.
It's actually cute.
Perseverance survives with a power source that charges its batteries overnight while it sleeps, and it keeps heaters on so that all of our critical electronics can stay warm, as well as our mechanism. But it's really survived by the team that performs the health and safety assessments every day and communicates with the rover and makes sure that she's doing okay.
Well,
the rover's a she, huh?
Good luck living on Mars time.
Thank you. Should be fun.
No women in science.
Let's head back to Marina as she gives us a sneak peek into the future at JPL.
No women in science. Look at this.
Thanks so much, Raquel. It's definitely bustling behind me. It's not quiet like it was just 20 minutes ago. And congrats to the whole team. What an amazing accomplishment. Mike Watkins is the director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He was the mission manager during the Curiosity rover landing on Mars. Welcome, Mike.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be here. You can see all my mask markings on.
Well, you were just celebrating, and rightly so. Now, you've been around for a number of Mars landings. What makes this one special?
New research.
Well, a few things. I mean, it's the biggest and best rover we've ever sent to Mars. And it can really, do amazing things in terms of, its own scientific exploration of this habitable environment, at Jezero. But, it's also, as you've heard today, it's the first step in Mars sample return. So really, it's not only doing its own mission, it's setting us up for a series of missions and to bring those samples back. And, a lot of the effort to develop the rover was specifically designed, for that sampling and caching system. It's one of the most complex robotic systems ever made. And, having it down safely means Mars sample return continues right on course, and we are moving forward.
Some likes,
Wonderful.
please.
Now, JPL has a long history with robotic space exploration. Why do you think it's so important to continue to push those boundaries?
There's a lot of reasons. I mean, obviously, for places that are far away, like Mars,
Sweating.
and even farther away, like Europa. Right now, robotic exploration is the only way we can make these scientific discoveries and really understand these early habitable environments. In the case of Europa, maybe it's even still habitable. And, we're not ready to go there with astronauts yet, but the robots are ready to go there. And so we always, are forerunners and pathfinders of human exploration. And we start by sending, our eyes and arms there in the form of a robot. And it is just fantastic to be able to do that and to learn from each rover, learn from the science and the engineering and make the next one better and make more and more discoveries. And every time we do one of these missions, we make fabulous discoveries. And each one is more exciting than the last.
The future does look exciting. Now, as director of JPL, what would you like to say to those teams?
Yeah, something wrong with his eye.
Oh, obviously they have earned it. Let me tell you. I mean, they have worked, for years and years on this mission. And then in the past year, of course, we had the COVID experience. And I want to thank not only the team, but also, all of JPL. A lot of folks had to pitch in here, in terms of making sure our remote telework, our IT systems were good enough to support folks working.
Victoria, yes. Let me address this very quickly because it keeps coming up here because I started it. My sarcasm is because of the nonsense that's been perpetuated on our society for the better part of 2 decades. We have constantly heard that women are not in STEM, science, technology, education, and mathematics, engineering, mathematics. That's a lie. It's an absolute lie. 60% of postgraduate students at institutions across the United States are women. And that has been the case for 2 decades, as was said a moment ago by Joking Atheist. And he's correct. In a matter of a decade, there'll be virtually no men left in these rooms. How is that equality? How does that uplift anybody? Not only is NASA distorting this by running around and only recruiting scientists and engineers from inner cities, they're also lying about the gender. And they're discriminating against tens of millions of Americans based on a lie. And so I'm exposing the lie about STEM, where 60% of the graduates in postgraduate schools, which is the people that get involved in programs like this, are women and have been for 20 years. Just do the math. 100 or 10,000 scientists per year, 6,000 the first year, 6,000 second year makes 12,000. Vice is 8,000. Then 18,000 versus 12,000. Then 24,000. You get it. All right, 60%, 24,000, just 12. In just 4 years, to be twice as many females in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics as there are males. But this lie is still being spread. The misandry against men is vile and repulsive. And I'm sick of it. And I've been exposing it for years. There you go. Ingenuity, the first helicopter ever on Mars.
This was the unwavering dream of our team, to get our helicopter launched to Mars so that we can get that opportunity to do that very first rotorcraft flight test.
Oh, no women. Mimi Ong.
It's extremely difficult to fly at Mars because the atmosphere is so thin compared to Earth. At Mars, it's less than 1%. So the first and foremost challenge is to make a vehicle that's light enough to be lifted. And then the second is to generate lift. The rotor system has just been very fast. 2,000, 2,200, 2,400, 2,600. We're spinning between 2,000 and 3,000 revolutions per minute, and it takes a lot of energy. So it's that balance of a very light system, yet having enough energy that's needed to spin the rotor so fast to lift, and on top of it, having to design in the autonomy.
It has to be fully autonomous from the time it takes off to the time it lands. What we do on the ground is we plan the flights, and so we determine from here where we want the helicopter to go.
Our experiment window is
so
30
cool.
working days. So we have planned up to 5 flights of incremental difficulty.
The very first flight, the main thing is we want to get the legs off the ground, and so we will basically go up about 3 meters, and we'll hover there, and then we'll come down again, and that will be the first, really major milestone.
Most of our flights will be at the 3 to 5 meter height. We will be going horizontally again at a few meters per second, probably go out, 50, 70 meters and come back. In successive flights, we'll probably push that further, try to go further. So our priority will be to get back engineering.
The problem with your point, Gareth, is that these are women running these programs, so clearly there are plenty of women.
At this point, we've tested all we can on Earth. We have mathematical models that shows how it will fly at Mars, and we've tested it in the simulated environment that we can create on Earth.
You're correct, Erica.
It really is time now to...
Best and brightest. Gender doesn't matter, nor does race.
Nothing is a given.
Asian,
but
Indian.
We've done everything we can in terms of a test program here on Earth. The vehicle's performing extremely well so far. It's been doing exactly the right thing, even right now when it's bolted onto the Perseverance rover. So there's a very good chance that we'll pull it off, yes. But it's still high risk, and none of us forget that you could have a glitch that, could mean end of mission.
Sounds like it works in Microsoft.
Exciting, reacting to any surprises we have. We can't wait.
Why are there 2 trolls here? They're entertaining.
What's really most important is everything we're learning here is for the future rotorcraft systems that we want to introduce into space exploration.
Yeah, the moon, going back to the moon.
Mimi Ong is the project manager for Ingenuity. She joins us now as
Project
they await
manager,
a chance
woman.
to check out their helicopter in the coming days. Welcome, Mimi.
Thank you, Marina.
Oh my goodness, we've been talking about this for months, Mimi. Did you ever think you'd be here at this point? I mean, what's going on in your head right now?
This is super exciting. You know, we have been working on Mars helicopter for over 6 years, testing and carefully designing it for operation at Mars. So what's going through my mind? Ingenuity Mars helicopter is finally at the destination that it is designed for.
Now that Ingenuity is on Mars, what is the timeline you hope to accomplish as you move forward?
We have a series of major milestones between now and Ingenuity's first flight. So tomorrow we'll turn on the helicopter and its base station to confirm health after experiencing the dynamics through the EDL just now. And the next major milestone will be when the rover deploys the helicopter to the surface. And that marks the first moment that Ingenuity operates on its own in a standalone manner.
Gotta make sure it works first.
That first cold, frigid night of Mars will be a major milestone. We'll execute a series of checkouts, and then we will perform that very important first flight. And if the first flight is successful, we have up to 4 more flights in the 30 Martian days that we have set aside for our flight experiments.
And that's when you finally can breathe, right, Mimi? Now, why is it so important to have that aerial dimension to space exploration?
Oh, the AU. Have fun, Amy.
A helicopter flying far ahead of rovers and astronauts in the future can provide high-definition reconnaissance information for the rovers and the astronauts.
Just like the Army.
Journeys. And as importantly, being able to fly will enable us to get to places that we cannot get to with rovers and astronauts, like sites of steep cliffs, deep inside crevices, areas of high scientific interest. It will be game-changing.
Game-changing is right, and we've talked about this a lot. You've mentioned the risk is huge, Mimi, but the reward is high. What will be your greatest reward?
You know, our team started with the question of whether a helicopter can fly at Mars, given the extremely thin environment.
Yep, 1% of Earth's atmosphere.
We demonstrated a series of technical steps. We demonstrated lift first, and then we demonstrated lift and the first ever powered control rotorcraft flight in simulated Mars atmospheric density. And then we went on to build the full-up helicopter that can not only fly, but operate and survive autonomously at Mars, all under 1.8 kilograms, about 4 pounds. And each of these major milestones have been a first. And the success at each of these has been so rewarding. And along the ways, the rewards just kept coming. And I have to tell you, at this moment, it's going up exponentially. So after all these tests, analysis, simulations,
Good night, Amy.
and more tests on Earth, our team now gets a chance to test, prove, and learn how it works in the actual environment of Mars.
Yeah, it's
Our
it
team
has
can
to be
ask
light
for a bigger
because
reward than
they
that.
can't achieve the lift if it's heavy.
Oh, Mimi, I'm so happy for you and your team. And now we're going to take a question from social media on Instagram for you. At Not Vibhuti asks, is the helicopter going to be doing science?
Well, the helicopter Ingenuity is a technology demonstration.
Right.
And
Proof of concept.
We are demonstrating the ability to fly and learning how to fly for the very, very first time.
Yep.
And so this is a technology demonstration and a pathfinder for future larger rotorcraft, future missions that will carry much larger instruments.
Proof of concept,
So
ladies
on
and
this
gentlemen.
mission, we're not doing any science. We're concentrating on engineering data. How did the vehicle perform?
Gravity is less
And
than
as
it
you
is here,
saw,
Leon.
Bob Belleram in the video before, we will be taking a few color pictures, first ever color pictures from the flying aerial vantage point, but they'll be icing on the cake. For this one, this is all about engineering data and how do we fly compared to all our tests we have done on Earth.
Mimi, so much for your team and the future generations of scientists and engineers to look forward to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mimi, and good luck to your team with that first test flight.
Thank you so much.
Now we look forward to the Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter beginning their journeys on Mars as their adventures are just about to start. Go Perseverance and go Ingenuity. Back to you, Raquel.
Thanks, Marina. Landing on Mars is never easy, but this team has persevered, and NASA's 5th rover is on the red planet. You can still hear them buzzing in the back right now. And to get the latest updates on Perseverance as it explores Mars, follow @NASA Persevere on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank everyone watching for joining us today. And to the students and teachers tuning in, we hope you learned a lot from today's landing, and thank you for all your questions. We have a news briefing coming up at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time. That briefing will wrap up the day and include reactions from Perseverance team members. We'll leave you now with some of the landing celebration photos you've shared with us, set to Youngblood's cover of David Bowie's Life on Mars. I'm Raquel Villanueva.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. No, we can't do that. We're gonna get screwed and banned. All right, folks. So very quickly, just to let people know. So Henry Ford just said, "Hey, I didn't cancel my membership." Henry, YouTube screws with content creators all the time. Folks, I have no control over your membership. I can find out if you're a member, but it's not easy to do. There's a list for me to check into, but it's not easy to get to. But I have no control over your billing. It's all done by YouTube. They habitually unsubscribe 1/3 of my subscribers every month. It's happened to several people who are sticky viewers who are here all the time. All I can say to you is that I have discovered, it happened to Erica here, it's happened to others, Herman Ruz it happened to. If you catch it within 72 hours of your billing date, you don't lose your icon. You see, Henry, you just got back with the Statue of Liberty. You wouldn't normally get that. You start over with the house. I have no control over that, and I apologize for it, but it's YouTube. YouTube is the same organization that today removed my video about Beckett Sile, which I recorded this morning. Spent 2 hours of news reviews, reading, searching through social media, looking for photographs, watching video clips that people put together, analyzing it, drafting up notes, recording a video, editing it, uploading it. It was up for 15 minutes. YouTube took it down, said I violated community standards. There's no pornography. There's no weapons involved. There's no commercial theft. There's no copyright claim. There is no profanity. There is no abuse. There's no bullying. There's nothing in there that calls for that to be removed. And they removed it with no justification and with no reason given. I don't even know what the offending thing was because there is nothing offending in there. So it's just gone. This is the bullshit that YouTube plays. And I apologize for the Henry Ford. I caution people frequently. That's why I talk about membership so often, because you have to watch your membership because I can't control that. That's YouTube. Why they do this, I have no idea. I have no idea. It's utter nonsense. Anyway, folks, I hope that you enjoyed that so far. It was pretty cool. At 17:30, which is an hour and 6 minutes from now, NASA will be giving a press conference in which they will be updating us on the status of what happened with Perseverance, and probably more photos, and the first videos coming from the descent and the landing, perhaps. So that should be pretty cool. YouTube has demolished many channels. As pathetic, says Tony. Yeah, and it looks like I might be headed for that direction too. Really a shame. Henry, I'm glad you got back. Thank you. Truth is a violation. It is. Truth is a violation of YouTube standards. That's the problem. It's a good question. Just strange grammar. That guy was singing Life on Mars, David Bowie. Yes, and I turned it off because I will get a copyright claim. Probably get one for that little second right there already. I don't want that because it's just him singing. Anyway, so yeah, folks, NASA had 2 streams on this. One had 1.6 million. The other had 766,000. Really cool. Anyway, yeah, Henry, you got to watch it. So what I always tell people is when you become a member, by the way, Henry, this is for you, even though it's off the screen. Thanks for supporting. When you become a member, you need to take note of your renewal date if you care to stay subscribed to the channel. Listen, Henry, what really hurts for me is when that happens to Master and Commander level members. I have members who are Master and Commander, which is $10 a month. And just imagine, if you have 20 Master and Commander, that's $200 a month. They take 1/3 of that, so you still get $130. But when they delete 1/3 of those every month, you lose 1/3 of that income. It just sucks. Lazon says, on YouTube, the truth won't set you free. It gets you censored. Yes, I know. I know. It has got me censored. And here's the thing. What truth will get you censored? You don't know. You sit here and stroke a cat. Nothing. Anyway, Tony, NASA lady said, we think and learn. YouTube disagrees. Yeah. Victoria says, Swearim, you can always have a fight with me as your favorite progressive. We can have a fight here with Chris. Why is Swearim fighting with Victoria? What's going on? I'm defending Victoria all day today. Why are people picking on her? Anyway, by the way, folks, so let's be clear about what happened now. It's landed, and they have the first imagery from it. We're waiting for the first videos, and hopefully we'll see that at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I won't be streaming that unless this hour continues on for a long time. Then I might be doing it, but that wasn't the plan. Anyway, so Tanya Edwards says, thanks, Chris. Have a good rest of the day. Good night for me. Yeah, I have to get some exercise. I'm way behind because of the snow. Truth burns, but it's a good burn because it burns away the dross ND exposes reality, but snowflakes melt too quickly. Erica says, we'll see you tomorrow, Chris. Good night. Great stream as always. Remember, it's hard to beat somebody who never gives up. Keep up the good work. Well, I'll tell you what, Erica, before you go, when I saw that my video that I put so much time and effort into was removed with no reason whatsoever, and I intentionally made sure I didn't put anything provocative in that video because there were a few provocative things I could have put in there, and I didn't put it in. And my video disappeared after all that work when it was taken off like a rocket. That really was depressing and frustrating, really frustrating. Anyway, Madman says, time for a platform change. Madman, I have accounts on the other ones. I've never heard of this Odyssey that someone talked about earlier. If someone could send me a link in Telegram to Odyssey, because I look it up in Odyssey, some film company. It's not a platform. None of them actually meet the needs. V is here to okay, I'm here. Oh, Erica saw it. You understand why they took it down? Or you understand why I'm frustrated, Erica? Well, Cameron, I feel very sad too because it wasn't an offensive video. It didn't bully anybody, didn't threaten anybody. It was simply an analysis and reporting on news. Reporting on news. So yeah, float plane. So look at platforms all over the place. Is your state also experiencing power failures due to the snow? No, none, Bosch Zebra. None whatsoever. No power. We have the 3 Mile Island nuclear facility, the one that's famous for the nuclear accident back in '79, which is located about 30 kilometers from where I sit right now. Not experiencing any problems, but we have problems here too. We've had power go out before. I mean, in the wintertime, in a place like this where you get lots of snow and lots of freezing rain, if the freezing rain collects on the power lines, they become so heavy that they'll actually snap the power lines, especially in a blizzard. And when they snap the power lines, then they have to go out. That's because the lines between towns out over the countryside are above ground. In towns with more modern things, all the power lines are underground, but not in the past. They were above ground. So even in some of our urban centers, older power lines have been up for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, are above ground that aren't underground. They will snap in the cold sometimes. An alternative place to host your videos. Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's what I'm saying, Carl. I've never heard of float plane. That's a new one on me. I've heard of Odyssey because someone was telling me about it, but I've never heard of float plane. The problem, folks, is that here's the thing. Everybody keeps saying go to other platforms. I appreciate that. But here's the problem. How many people are on those other platforms, and how many of my 20,200 subscribers are going to follow me over there? Am I going to have to start all over again? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. 3 Mile. I don't know what that's about. Created by guys from the Linus Tech team. Okay, Carl, thanks for sharing that. Cool. The algorithm. Yeah, Leon Kokomar, given the fact that it was pulled down about 15 minutes or so after it was posted, the only logic because someone probably complained. Why would they complain? I didn't attack Jacob Zuma. I didn't attack, and that at least the biggest target of the video is Jacob Zuma. I didn't attack him. I didn't attack Malema. I didn't attack Bekachile. I just said that my analysis is that they may in fact be working against Cyril Ramaphosa, and if I were him, I'd be watching out for my political opponents. Simple as that. But someone said that maybe someone complained. I don't think so. It would have taken longer for someone to watch the video, type up a response, complain, for them to receive it and react. It came down too fast. So it was probably an algorithm. And I suspect it might have been the video of people in uniform. That might have been what did it. It's flipping annoying. YouTube sucks. Don't give up, though. You do a great job. I'm trying, Jessica. I'm trying. And thanks to the people who gave super chats earlier in the first stream. Thank you so much for that. That really floats my boat and encourages me to keep going. But also, all you guys showing up here, it's pretty awesome. Float plane, unfortunately, requires paid subscriptions from viewers. See? Everybody's got a shortcoming. All of them got a short. Piggyback on Germ server. But what happens if everybody started watching Germ? Is he using distributed networks? I mean, people pay for the data, so... I saw a video about some people starting YouTube Union of YouTubers. Okay. Well, Kyle, that's what they do all the time. So let me just run through the 3 things that have happened here, okay? All right, so I never got anything from YouTube other than copyright claims all the time. Most of those are BS because it's automation saying it's copyrighted. I would reply and say, listen, I have the artist's permission. I can show you the letter from them granting me permission to promote their music if you allow me to. But of course, there's no way to attach it on YouTube. So they just turn me down all the time. So yeah, other than that, I never had a problem. January 6th, first time ever something happens. I'm coming back from DC and I'm looking at my phone while I'm in the parking lot of Costco after I did that 30-minute stream about false flag operation at the Capitol steps. That's the day of the so-called insurrection and domestic terrorist event in D.C., which was actually a lawful assembly of 500,000 people seeking redress and a handful of criminal trespassers who broke into an undefended Capitol building, which was foolishly left unprotected. After I finished my 30-minute stream, I looked down. I had a note from YouTube, and I looked at it. It says, you have a warning. This is not a strike. You have a warning. So I went and looked, and it said, medical misinformation. December 31st. I'm like, December 31st? All I did was New Year's Eve streams. I didn't talk about any medical information on that day. What are they talking about? This is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. What are they talking about? And so what happened was I wrote a response and said, I didn't write any medical misinformation. I didn't say anything. What are you talking about? Where is it in the video? They don't tell you where it's in the video. With a copyright claim for music, they'll tell you exactly 2 minutes and 37 seconds to 4 minutes and 50 seconds. You must remove this content or your video can't be monetized or you can get a penalty. They tell you exactly where. They let you preview it. When they give you a warning, they don't even tell you where it's at. They just tell you medical misinformation. What the hell is medical misinformation? You should take vitamin C. Is that medical misinformation? Malaria is dangerous. Is that medical misinformation? I don't know. So I later discovered after the video disappeared and I couldn't copy it because it was blocked, I found a way for me to view it, but only in a little tiny window. So I went through it. I zipped every couple minutes to see what I was talking about. The only thing I found in my New Year's Eve of the 3 streams I did today that was remotely related to medical was the fact that the woman in the UK who went to the hospital in the Midlands or Gloucester, wherever she was at, they told them they're shutting down the country for the 3rd time in the UK because the hospitals are overflowing with COVID patients. So she went to the hospital because she had an appointment. She's walking around. There's no one in the hospital. So she made a video. Look at this. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. What's going on? About 4-minute video. The next day, the police showed up and arrested her for a public order violation. Well, that's a newsworthy event. I covered it on New Year's Eve and talked about it. And said, hey, this woman got arrested. We don't know why because the government hasn't told us. But the only thing she did was show this video of empty hospitals when the government lied and said all the hospitals are overflowing. Clearly they're not. I don't know the provenance of the video. I don't know the woman. I don't know the time she framed it, whether she recorded it, but she claims this was, anyway. That's the only medical thing that was discussed that day. We didn't even talk about COVID on that New Year's Eve. And I was given a warning. If I get another warning, I get a strike. I appealed it. They denied it. Yet they never told me what the medical misinformation was. How can I avoid spreading medical misinformation when I don't know what the problem is? Do you see the bullshit that this company does? That's the first one. Second one was I was downloading videos last week and I was going back and I got to January 4th and I saw deleted. Community violations. This was a 30-minute live stream I did. And I only did a live stream because I hadn't found a way to talk while I was playing a video. So I put the video up anyway, so I made a video. So I did this video and that was one where I analyzed the claims about Dominion software. And they had a forensic expert on there who was talking about it and talking about all the purported election fraud and disputes. And I played clips of that, and then I would comment on what they said and agree or disagree. And I actually refuted most of the Dominion stuff they talked about. I said, well, there's no evidence of here. I'm not convinced. That video was removed. I was never informed. I was never told anything. I didn't get a warning. I didn't get a strike. Nothing. It's just gone. My video's gone. That's my content they stole. And they did the same thing this morning. No warning, no message telling me there's a problem, no indication of where in the 6-minute video there's a problem they have an objection to. I looked over the community standards. It doesn't violate a single community standard. This is BS. I don't know what you're saying, Victoria. I get your content simply because a lot of the time we disagree. If you agree with Chris, you're probably not seeing it. Are you saying that you saw something in the video, Victoria, that you think is legitimate, that the video shouldn't be up? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. So the broadcasters can have a say because now they all, I don't know what this is. Yes, you can dispute, but it takes time, and time is money, relevance, and the stream is long. Exactly. Liaison, it was up for 15 minutes, 368 views. It was off like a rocket. It was a good performer in 15 minutes. That's pretty good. And they took it down. By the time that if they even remove that and apologize, or not apologize, but just put it back up, it'll be 3 days a week, 2 weeks before they get around to it. Even if they grant it back to me, the news event will have passed. No one will watch the video. It has to do with CD Baby. Once an artist is registered with CD Baby, they remove your video if you use their song. No, they don't remove your video. You get warnings. There were no songs in there, Cameron. No music played in that video whatsoever, unless you're talking to someone else about it. Namibia video on reparations. When was that from, Brett? I don't recall. They may have. There may be more of my videos that deleted that I haven't noticed because I just went back and was reviewing videos and I found one from January 4th. I went back because I was trying to get the guests. That's why I was trying to make sure the dates I had guests on there, keep track of it. Just make sure it matched up with my master list, and I noticed that video was gone. Why would they take reparations video down? This is crazy. Taiwan American. So, okay, well, so you guys are saying there's more videos down, huh? They get clicks when there's conflict. I don't understand that, Victoria. Well, clicks for what do you mean? What do they get for remove my channels? It doesn't make it, or my videos doesn't make any sense. Truth Seeker says your channel is plagued with shadow banning. I know it is. It is. That's why it stopped growing. And it's been a struggle to keep going because they've been shadow banning. Gareth is saying, aren't YouTube exempt from legal cases by being platformed? No. What you're talking about is Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which granted protections so that YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Parler, all of these, MeWe, Gab, all of these social media platforms cannot be prosecuted for the content that other people put on their platforms. Only the content creators can be prosecuted. The argument was that that's not fair to them because they don't have editorial control over the content creators, right? So as long as they don't allow somebody to put up something that encourages violence or is, certain things, that are clearly that could get them in trouble by not policing that, they are free to do what they want, which was fine till they grew and became Colossus. And now they've decided to punish people for people that don't agree with their political view. And that's what they do. So they're not protected from me filing a class action lawsuit for violating the terms and conditions under which I agreed to sign up and they're supposed to abide by them. They're the ones violating the terms and conditions, not me. I didn't violate any terms and conditions. Wow. Eric is in stunned silence. Cameron says, I'm saying for your January video. There was no music in the January video. There was no music in there. That was an analysis. That was a 30-minute live stream, and there was no music in there. And all that was in there was me analyzing that video. Do you at least have legal copies of videos? I don't have legal copies of all my live streams because you can't download them right away. I get distracted doing something else. By the time I come back, I forget about it. So I have copies of all my produced videos, but I have done 1,100 videos in 9 months. And I don't have copies of all of them. So I tried to download. But the problem is that now I have a data cap, which I didn't have before. It's generous, 1.2 terabytes per month. So at the end of February, a shorter month, my intent is to look at where I'm at on the 26th and then go back, go through my list of which videos I have, download all of them. And in future, I'll download them once a week in a minimum. I was doing it for a while, but I missed several weeks. Chat keeps freezing. No, it's on your end. It's your machine. It's fine here. Yeah, okay, Victoria, I get that. They get clicks when there's a conflict in difference of opinion. We're not talking about difference of opinion, dislikes versus likes, arguments in the chat. That's not what we're talking about. Maybe you're talking about that, Victoria. But see the problem when people start talking about things that are not related to what the host is talking about? I'm talking about my video being deleted with no justification. That's not related to conflict. What conflict was there? It was removed in 15 minutes. No time for conflict to develop. No, Cameron was guessing. Well, good guess, Cameron, but there was no music in that video. That was the 30. I went straight to, boom, just started talking. That was, yeah. YouTube executive policies give rise to at least 4 streaming alternatives. YouTube is unlikely to keep its market dominance. Yeah, well, Lars Hollis, the alternate has to have unlimited free accounts. It has to have live streaming. It has to have editing capability. It has to have a capacity for people to make money, both from memberships, something similar to super chats, advertising, and whoever starts another channel is going to be a big loss from advertising. I don't make a lot of money from advertising, but I'll make virtually nothing on a new platform because they don't have the power of Google behind them to bring in billions of dollars of advertisers. So that's going to be a problem. But people can still make money from super chats and memberships and things like that. Patreon people make money on Patreon. Some people make some serious money. People make millions of dollars off Patreon putting their content on there. But they're known. You have to be known. I mean, I started this channel with 2 subscribers. If I had put it on Patreon, no one ever would have found me. Patreon wouldn't have promoted me. It's a leftist site. I'd have 12 subscribers because you have to pay on Patreon. And it'd be a complete waste of my time. That was the utility and the usefulness of YouTube. Your video can catch fire. Your channel can catch fire. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, look at me. I had 187 subscribers when we had Giselle on the channel. The end of May, that was May 8th. The end of May, I had 1,000. June 1st, November 30th, 20,000. December 1st to today, 21,200. 2.5 months, 1,200 additional subscribers. After in 4 months, gaining 19,000. Something's not right. I've done all kinds of content covering all sorts of subjects, so something's not right. It's the shadow banning. I didn't know these videos are deleted. What you guys are talking about. I have to go look and see. So, yeah, interesting. What you guys talking about? Are you talking about on my channel, Eric, or are you talking about deleted videos across the board? So I'm at 21,206. Okay. Yeah, 31 December. I have a copyright medical misinformation. Okay, content. Let me look. Okay. No. When a video gets deleted, I'll show you what it looks like, folks. This is what it looks like, okay? So let me show you. So here we go. All right. Pennsylvania snow. Look at that right there. Beckett Seeley rocks up at Inconla to see Zuma. Can't even see the image there. Removed. Ineligible. Video can't be monetized. It's removed. Only you can see this video. Terms and policies appeal. That's it. Been removed. Inappropriate content. What's inappropriate? I have it limited here because it's not suitable for some advertisers. I got that. Okay? So I don't know why you guys can't find videos. There must be some shadow banning going on blocking you from screening because the only videos that are down, limited. Okay? I have no other videos that were removed here. 7th, I'm going to go back to January 1st just to show you. Oh, here you go. Ah, right there. That's one. Deny, but where there's smoke, Pennsylvania elections, removed ineligible terms and policies. What terms and policies? Inappropriate content. I didn't even know that happened. So I went back there and found that removed. That's the second video removed. And by the way, they removed that a month after I did the video. Not when it happened, not in a reasonable amount of time. See, there's no more. That's it. I mean, I'd be surprised if there's, well, I wouldn't be surprised. But see, nothing else. These are prepared ones. Okay, this one is eligible. That's this is a video when Johan's father passed away, and I'm not trying to make money on it, so I don't know why it's even saying ineligible. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. That goes back to October. So I don't know which videos you guys are trying to find that you can't find, but here we are, August. Wait a second. That jumped a lot. September. Okay, September I didn't do much because I was gone. September, October. Yeah, so there's nothing there. Now let's go to the live ones. This is another one. This was removed on 31st, okay? Okay, we're live right now. That's me on 385 views, 62 people currently watching. Okay, let me go down here, and I'm going to find ineligible. That's Monty Jackson's concert right there. It says blocked because of copyright claims. So details. You ready for this? Copyright claim. All of those songs. Look at that. That's all because he sang those. And those are bullshit claims because they were him performing live. So there's no copyright on that. But the video catches it, or the CD baby catches it. So all of those. I can't, so I didn't get cut off midair. We got to watch it, but no one's been able to watch it since then. All right, so that's that. Hang on, we're going to get back there to January, and I'm going to show you what happened on December 31st. So limited. Okay, ineligible copyright claim. Details, stray voltage. Okay, here we go. Kung Fu Fighting. I have to trim it out. And 3 songs have to be removed from here. I've already done this and it didn't remove it. So now I have to wait. See, it tells you the exact time frame there. 1 hour and 6 minutes. Okay, that's done. So we'll take care of that one. Ineligible copyright claim. See details. Okay, Phil and Spencer. I already removed this once. It didn't come out. At the 28 second, at 2 minutes and 23 seconds. All right. So now that's processing. Okay. All right. January 25th. Hang on, folks. We get back December 31st. And then I'm going to give up on this. Okay. Ineligible copyright claim. Look at that. See, look at this. This is after the fact. These had no copy. Look at that. Trump song. Okay. Trim out segment. You see what I have to do all the time in my programs? This is absolutely insanity, folks. That song had no copyrights on it. It was copyrighted after the fact. I used it when it was an unprotected song. It was publicly available in the public domain. They went back and copyrighted after the fact and then claimed that I was using it. Okay, so here we're going to get here. Ineligible copyright claim. Look at this. This is insanity. I have fixed all these previously. That's Giselle. So I have the artist's permission. So you can imagine how pissed off this makes a person feel. Okay. Here's another copyright claim. Gee, many crickets. I have done these before. There were none left in January. I went back and confirmed I trimmed all these. Sometimes they don't do the editing. They tell you they're doing it, and they never do it. And then by the time you can get money, it's well past anything. So December 29th, okay. Now here's the thing. My December 31st stream is gone. In fact, I had 3 streams that day. A second one's gone now. It's not even here. Look at that. December 31st. Deserted New Year's edition. Sylvester Alvin. Okay, maybe that's considered January because it was, that was New Year's Eve. It's gone. These 2 were December 31st. There was a third one. It's just simply gone. It's not even there anymore. Not blocked. It's just simply gone. Unbelievable. Anyway, that's what I have to deal with. That's my content. I produce that. They don't have a right to steal that from me. You should cover how hospitals and testing sites are dead quiet while they bang on about it. Well, yeah, great. And they'll take down my channel. You're right, Gareth. I should do that. And then all of this will be for nothing. I want to watch a video, and getting to it was that YouTube said I had to agree to certain conditions before I could view the video. My video, Victoria? Is that what you're talking about? My video? They could be blocking you from finding it, searching it. So somebody was saying something about New Zealand. I don't know what I'd search for there. Pop puts teaser on YouTube and links to other hosting platforms. I don't know what that is. What you mean, madman? It is terrible, Cameron. You guys see what I'm doing with here. So when people, want to tease about, your channel's not growing, it's not growing because of this. Not to mention, I know this for a fact. They delete people who are subscribers, legitimate subscribers, without their knowledge every day, every single day. So I have to gain more people than they subtract every day. There is no way that 947 people, when I have 7,000 subscribers, just up and decide, you know what? I'm not interested in this channel anymore. I'm going to unsubscribe. Do you know how many channels I've unsubscribed to on YouTube in 14 years? 0. I've never removed a subscription. What's the point? Why would I do that? It costs me no money. It bothers me not. If I don't want to know about videos, I just take the notifications off. It's all bullshit. This platform and Google are digging themselves a grave. Kyle, yes, perhaps promote another platform, but you got to get people to go there. People actually like going to YouTube as a viewer. I had to resubscribe one weekend. There you go, Gail Urban. See, Gail was removed. Gail, you didn't take a positive action to unsubscribe yourself, did you? See, YouTube screwed up. They think we're idiots in rooms, but we're not. They made a mistake. Back in August, they changed this application on the mobile phone. They changed this so that the YouTube, okay, that's the YouTube studio, right? That's where I can look at my stuff. In August, they made a mistake. What they did was, let me show you. Analytics. Show you what I'm talking about here specifically. So you guys got it. Okay, so subscribers. Okay, here's subscribers. See subscribers right there, plus 513. Look at that graph. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay? So, there's a better view of it. Okay? Now, on this chart, you see number of subscribers, 553. It has January 21st to February 17th. It says plus 6. I don't know what plus 6 is because that doesn't make any sense. It's a lot more than plus 6. But anyway, so this is the last 28 days. In August, they made a mistake. For people using the app, not on your PC, but right here on the app, it told you how many subscribers you gained and how many you lost. Not the aggregate. This figure, plus 513, is 513 I've gained on top all the ones I lost. So I could really have gained 1,500, but lost 1,000. But see, they hide that from me now. They made the mistake at YouTube of putting that data up. Someone screwed up, and that data was available in August and September. In August, I gained 1,500 new subscribers, 1,487. But I lost 947. How the hell is that possible? I had 7,000 subscribers in August. How do I lose 1/7 of them? For what reason? The content didn't change. I didn't offend people. There was nothing happening. Utter nonsense. Johan Eisel says right there, I had to resubscribe. Do you see this nonsense? Baseborn Manjack says, bad time joins. Why is it a bad time? We're just talking about YouTube's shameful conduct. Yep. MF says, do the same as Loving Life, go to another platform. And Germ, that's what a lot of people are doing. But guys, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Luckily, I haven't had any problems with getting unsubscribed anywhere. Well, I've never been unsubscribed either, Leon. I'm still subscribed to the channels, but it happens to my subscribers all the time. All the time. There you go. Barbara Schillinglaw says she subscribed in April of 2020. She's had to resubscribe 3 times. Why is that? Why does YouTube do that? Obviously, you're here, Barbara. Even when you're gone for a couple months, you're still on YouTube. It's just wrong. It's wrong. Folks, I guarantee you that the actual number of subscribers on my channel, people who've actively taken a proactive step to subscribe to the channel, if YouTube wasn't playing around today, it would be over 50 to 60,000 subscribers. I guarantee it. At least 50,000. When I lost subscribers in January, I was gaining subscribers all the time, but losing because it was the net aggregate. Albert Fontaner, I feel your pain and just think this is all just for speaking the truth. Thank you much for your video. It is. Kind regards. It is. Albert, what have I ever said that's been dishonest? Not a damn thing. What have I ever said that's been bigoted? Not a damn thing. What have I ever said about a different group of people? Nothing. What have I ever promoted other than freedom and honesty, discourse? I promote culture, language, black folks, white folks, colored folks. The only thing I do that is remotely offensive is I rail against leftist communism and socialism. Why? Because I've seen it. I know how it demeans people and destroys self-worth, initiative, entrepreneurship. And that scares them. That scares them. They quake in their boots. You see, I'm not 19 years old. I didn't come to these views and this worldview instantly at 19, and all I've accomplished so far is do well in school, bale hay, and work at McDonald's. So here's my CV, McDonald's and baling hay. No. They're scared because I'm published, I'm a practitioner, I'm an academic, I have multiple degrees, I have experience in so many different fields that these clowns have no understanding of whatsoever. Fields I shouldn't have experience in, but because I'm inquisitive and because I was an intelligence professional, I included all things from a holistic standpoint. Experience living on multiple continents, in multiple environments, having grown up in poverty, lived in housing projects, been discriminated against, abused by racists whose skin pigmentation was darker than mine. having written a presidential daily brief that saved 640,000 Africans from starving to death. Let that sink in. 640,000 Africans. That accomplishment alone makes it offensive what they're doing to my channel. Now, I'm not picking on Germ, but Germ is offensive on his channel at times. He intentionally provokes people. I don't provoke anybody. They don't attack anybody. It's ridiculous. And they've tried every approach. They send their little minions on here to pretend to be fake accounts. Oh, hi, everybody. Distracting the chat. Which has worked in the past. Scared people away from my channel. We learned how to deal with that. It took some experience and pain, but yes. Didn't watch the whole stream, but what will happen if you re-upload the videos? Johan, if I re-upload the video, then they'll give me another warning or a strike and my channel will be blocked. I won't be able to live stream. I won't be able to upload videos. I won't be able to earn any money. So it's not a game you want to play with YouTube. They hold all the cards. They've accused me. Imagine this. Put yourself in this. You ready for this? This is what this is with YouTube. Mr. Eisel, we're from SAPS. You're under arrest. Well, what did I do? Sorry, we can't tell you that. What do you mean you can't tell me that? Well, you violated community standards. So we're taking you to prison. What standards? We can't tell you that. We're under no obligation to tell you what crime you've committed. We're just here to take you to jail for committing a crime. Can you believe that? That's what we're talking about here. Also, this is also what they're doing. Let's put YouTube in the role of your local government, your mayor, your town council. So I have a business. YouTube comes by and they start putting tickets on all the cars who visit my business. They come to my parking lot, they walk in and give them citations. You're parking illegally. $50, $50, $50. What do you think that's going to do to my business? That's what they've done. By subtracting Johan, by subtracting Erica, by subtracting all of you who said you've had your subscriptions deleted. And we saw it here today with a member whose paid membership wasn't renewed. I'm telling you folks, it's 1/3. That's why I don't get, people. Lynn was constantly asking me when we started getting paid members. She was very excited for the channel, and I'm grateful she was excited. But she kept asking all the time, hey, Chris, how many paid members? How many paid members? I didn't want to talk about it because I was irritated by the whole thing. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Paid memberships. They remove 1/3 of people. They don't renew you. But you can't sign up unless you agree to be renewed automatically. So why would they do that? I noticed that most of the people they do it to, it's South Africans who are paying 10 Rand. Because YouTube's not going to miss your 10 Rand because they get 1/3. They get 3 Rand. When they cancel my $10 memberships, they lose $3 US. There's a big difference here. But memberships, 217 right now. I know for a fact that over 400 people have signed up for memberships in this, and only 2 people have ever contacted me and said, I'm unsubscribing from your channel. One, because they felt bad. They didn't have money. I said, please don't pay. Unsubscribe. Didn't ask you to pay. You're welcome to come watch it for free. And one other person said, I could go shove it because they didn't like my content. That's it. 400 people, over 400 have signed up. 217 active now. Now, I know that because not many people have been signing up. And what happens is that if you get to 250, and you don't get more subscriptions as they don't renew, 10 this week, 10 next week, next thing you know, you're down to 217. And that's where we sit. Protea Boer says, in the time of universal deceit, the truth is considered a revolutionary act. Yeah, it is. So maybe I'm a revolutionary. Maybe it was an insurrection on the 6th of January when I was there. Yikes. Yeah, Erica is a moderator. She's a paying member, and she's been unsubscribed repeatedly. Hendo, this is when I first became aware of this. In August of last year, Hendo was unsubscribed to Chris White Africa 3 times on the same day. He's a moderator. Why would a moderator unsubscribe and then keep their moderator status? It's not even common sense. Wow. Are you guys there? I got disconnected. Wow, I got disconnected. I'm sorry, YouTube. Are your ears burning? Did you disconnect me for telling the truth? Wow. Did your ears burn for me telling the truth, YouTube? Why was I disconnected right there? I'm not even streaming any content. It's just me talking. Folks, did you see that? Did you notice the break in the stream? I got disconnected. Just cut off. Wow. Ronald Gantz just gave a super chat, 350 Rand. Please keep doing what you're doing. We rely on the truth, Chris. Well, I'm trying, Ronald. But did you see that? It took them about 10 minutes, but they cut me off. Why? What did I say to offend you? I haven't even used the term hate wank once today. Okay, that's once. I just used it. Wow. 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 Helen Henstock. I saw that. Yeah. If you doubt that this stuff is going on, folks, look no further than that. My internet connection didn't drop. I'm still watching live stuff over here off another device on the same router. This one's plugged into a LAN card. It's hardwired to the internet. That still got data over Wi-Fi over the same router. So no one can say, oh, your internet just hiccuped. My internet didn't hiccup. YouTube cut me off. Wow. Wow. Indeed, Roy, the truth must... Wait, are they so scared? There's 72 people watching the stream and they have to waste their time on me? I have a mere 20,200 subscribers. Salty Cracker actually says wild, crazy things. He has 500,000 people watching his program. 200,000 viewers on each stream. They don't cut him off. Well, Victoria, you missed something because I was disconnected. I was disconnected. My streaming software was disconnected. My stream does not say that I've been on now for an hour and 25 minutes. It says I've been online for 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Because I got cut off. So, Victoria, you may not get cut off, but I wasn't transmitting, so I don't know what you were hearing. Truth Seek says I'm in Australia. It's running perfect. Yeah, Osprey said they cut me off after I mentioned the first week of January day. I'm not going to say it again. Yeah, Eric was definitely... Well, guys, whatever. You may not have been disconnected, but I was disconnected. My stream ended. You don't believe me? Here you go. This is live. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I'll do it this way. Okay, I'll record this video and then I'll play it for you. Okay, so you'll know that I'm recording this. It's 1700. All right, it's 1700 on the 18th of February. As I just said, I was cut off midstream by YouTube. Not because of my internet connection. My other devices are still playing on the internet. This was this day. Here you go. All right, so... 1700 on the 18th of February. As I just said, I was cut off midstream by YouTube. Not because of my internet connection. My other devices are still playing on the internet. This was this day. Here you go. Two minutes, 3 minutes on there at the top. You can't read it because it's, hang on. I'm trying to get you can read it. It says 3 minutes and 31 seconds, 32 seconds. So I appreciate that some of you say you didn't get cut off, but I got cut off. I got cut off. MF says, because they can. They're racist, biased, and antisocial. Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. What will happen if you reload your New Year video? I don't have it, Peaky, or Pookie. I don't have the video because I didn't say anything controversial. I actually refuted the election claims of the people that claim Dominion. I said, you're not presenting convincible evidence in that video. That's what I did. So I don't know why they deleted. The mere fact that I pointed out the facts apparently bothered them. But because I didn't say anything controversial, I hadn't got around to downloading it. So it's gone. All I can see is a little window like this when I go in and it shows me what I did wrong. It doesn't tell me, it just lets me play it. But it's blocked. I can't download it. And it was a live stream, so it's gone forever. That's theft. YouTube stole my content with no justification whatsoever. I was off for about 6 seconds, Clem. 6 seconds. if Trump gets his platform up, or if Creato gets around, but Trump would be easier, then there you go. Here's a prediction, folks. Donald Trump starts a multimedia company, assuming, unlike Parler, he actually gets the kinks worked out and they make it function from day one. Donald Trump has 8 million viewers within 48 hours. Even if Donald Trump comes out and says you got to pay $19.95 a month to be on this channel to watch content, there will be 8 million viewers within 48 hours. Within the first week, Donald Trump will have 25 million paying subscribers. $10 per person, 25 million subscribers is $250 million a month. That's $3 million a year. Just for memberships. No, $3 billion. $3 billion. Yeah. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Now there'll be overhead, data costs, technology, editors, managers. That will cost money. But $3 billion of revenue out of the gate? It's a no-brainer. Trump should start a company. And his kids can run after he's gone. Victoria says, I'm going to be very angry, but there was an insurrection. I'm not angry. You're wrong. Please show me which group and where their weapons were. Where were the guns? What was the plan? A group, a mob of criminal alien trespassers broke into an undefended building, which was intentionally left undefended. That's not an insurrection. That's not an insurrection. That's a lie. That's a lie. And you can believe that all you want, Victoria, but it's nonsense. So what do you call the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Victoria? What is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone? What is that? Is that not an insurrection? Those jackasses declared an independent country. They broke away from America. In Seattle, they declared their own freaking country and wouldn't let people enter it. And then segregated it. This is only for blacks. That's an insurrection. That's sedition. That's treason against the United States. And who was arrested? Nobody. People were murdered in there. 2 murders took place. Nobody arrested. That's an insurrection. Johan says, they do not remove subscribers to prevent your channel from growing. Imagine how powerful you will become. But that's probably what the intent is, Johan. You have to make a good point. Being too popular and having too many followers is a problem for them. You may be right about that. Well, I mean, look at Germ. Germ had just 3,200 subscribers, and then people started watching. He started growing. He had 9,700 like that. And he got too cheeky, and they cut him off and then shut his channel down. So he started a new one, Germ Warfare 2.0. And before you know it, he had 3,000 subscribers. And 3,000 subscribers, he had 700 people watching. He would have more, but people didn't know about it. I'm not encouraging or discouraging Germ or his content. I'm just stating the obvious. $240p. That's strange. You can reset that yourself. You just go to the right and you can reset your settings. There's a little settings button down here at the bottom, and you can change your settings on the bottom right-hand corner of your YouTube. Alex Jones was on Louder with Crowder for Ash Wednesday. He said it was the worst day of his life. Why did he say it was the worst day of his life? I know it's because CNN said, oh, it was a peaceful protest. Thank you, Gareth. I'm mistaken about Chaz. Yep. Trump's next campaign will make free speech great again. There you go. Make free speech great again. That's good, David. I like that. On a lighter note, Chris, I sent you an interesting WhatsApp attachment. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Johan, when I get off of here. You can't have 2 sets of rules for people. Okay. Hang on a second, Victoria. Okay, I'm trying to follow what you're saying, Victoria, but I saw where you said I was going to be angry, and I said something about that, and you said it was undefended. What's undefended? And then you said you can't have 2 sets of rules. Well, of course you can. You can have 2 sets of rules. We're living under 2 sets of rules in which law-abiding citizens go to Harrisburg and protest at the Capitol seeking a right of redress from a governor who unconstitutionally shut down our businesses. If you disagree with that, you're welcome to it, but a federal judge in the Western District of Pennsylvania declared all of his lockdown standards to be unconstitutional. The acts that Governor Tom Wolf took in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in March of 2020 were declared unconstitutional last year by federal Judge Strickland in the Western District of Pennsylvania. People went to Harrisburg in April of 2020 and peacefully protested. Most of them stayed in their cars and drove past the Capitol building. And how were they portrayed? As right-wing white supremacists. What the hell does white supremacy have to do with people losing their jobs? Not a damn thing. But that's how it was portrayed. So of course there's two sets of rules, Victoria. Black supremacists, racists can march in the streets of Minneapolis, loot and murder black retired police officers. Assault people in the streets. 70 Americans died because of their violence across the country. Billions of dollars of damage. Hailed by the press and Democratic politicians as peaceful protest. They actually standing there with car lots behind them on fire. A largely peaceful protest. Are you blind? Can you not feel the heat coming off those burning automobiles? Yet peaceful protesters who go to Harrisburg, simply carrying signs saying that this is unconstitutional. They're a threat. You know why? Because they are peaceful. They are telling the truth. They're a threat to the left. There are two sets of rules. And the two sets of rules have become entrenched now. Liberty is at risk. What the hell did I defend for 37 years? Supporting and defending the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The enemies that are in our midst. They're all around us. Stealing our liberty, imprisoning us. Shutting down our free speech and our voices. It's absolutely insane. By the way, that's the first time I've seen anybody come up on the software and subscription in days. People subscribe all the time. YouTube is not sending that data to my streaming software. There's another one. Watch, now we're going around. This is absolutely insanity. Utter insanity. And it plays out. Donald Trump is tried for a crime he didn't commit by a body that has no jurisdiction over him. The U.S. Senate has no legal authority to try a former official. I don't want to hear about Ulysses Grant's cabinet official. Ulysses Grant's cabinet official was already under trial proceedings. He resigned to avoid it. You can't resign to avoid prosecution. That's not a precedent. That's like AOC telling us, well, the reason why there's no electricity in Texas is because there's not enough green energy. Well, the green energy didn't work. The pipelines are frozen. No natural gas. The freaking turbines are frozen. Yeah, break. He was accused that he organized it. He said, standing on his platform, watching them rush in after him, trying to calm the crowd down. He felt helpless knowing this. Okay, well, if that's why it was the worst day of his life. Well, he should sue the New York Times because they fraudulently reported that he instigated it and that he was in the building. That's what the New York Times said about Alex Jones. I don't know him from Adam. Apparently, he pisses people off. But I saw his video that they released in which he was standing with a bullhorn. And I heard someone saying that. I couldn't see because it was way off to the left of me, telling people to stop it. That was him. He said, we have a permit for the east side. Go around there. But they demonized him. It's vile. The racists, the bigots, the homophobes, the leftist slime balls who are exactly that looking in the mirror call those of us who respect others, who value life, who cherish life, who support and defend the Constitution for all Americans, whether they're Bangladeshi origin, they're Native American, they're Anglo-Saxon, they're African American, whatever the hell they are. We who defend their rights are attacked by these slime balls, these redistributionist cretins who already take nearly half of my income and it's not enough for them, who lie about energy and national security and terrorism and systemic racism. They are all the things they accused their opponents of being. And they get away with it because they own the universities and the schools and Hollywood, television, movie studios, news media, print press. It's all owned by these slime balls. Every time I turn around, Donald Trump's fraudulent claims of voting fraud during the election. Untrue. If you dispute it, you could say disputed claims. Nothing's been proven. Of course nothing's been proven because there's been no court cases that have been followed through to their question. Now there have. We have 22 court cases filed by the Trump campaign, by Republicans, by concerned citizens around the country. 22 court cases. 15 have been decided in favor of the people who filed the lawsuit. Only 7 were dismissed. And all of them dismissed not on legitimate grounds, but simply because they claimed that the people who filed the lawsuit didn't have standing. Yet for 3 months, all we heard is all the Trump cases dismissed. Well, the ones dismissed weren't even Trump cases. He only had 2 court cases dismissed. Lies. Lies and more lies. Endless lies. Subterfuge. Shameful. Disgraceful. Remember these lefties who care so much about identity. It's cool to be gay. You're a homophobe if if you question what a homosexual does, you're a homophobe. What? Yet, during the Kavanaugh hearings, the shameful slimeball leftist tried to slur Lindsey Graham by outing him, claiming he's a homosexual because he's not married. Well, Lindsey Graham, It's vile and disgusting. Watch, I'll probably get banned for this when I'm attacking the people who attack Lindsey Graham. Whether he's heterosexual, he's asexual, or he's homosexual, I don't care. That's his business. And to see a leftist attack him because he was defending Kavanaugh and try to undermine his reputation by using his sexuality against him was disgusting and vile. Conservatives don't do that. That's the left. That's the left that does that stuff. Unbelievable. David says, I love America, Chris, but the way they treat Trump is scary. Kind of makes you feel like the Dems can still break the law. Of course they can break the law. They break it all the time. Tom Wolf is breaking it right now with lockdown restrictions in Pennsylvania. There's no law that gives him the authority to do the things he's directed in his state. His actions have been declared unconstitutional by a federal judge, and he still does it. Lazon says, my brother loves Alex, so we watched him a lot when we lived with him 2 months. He's a bit much for us, but the left loves secretly editing his statements. Yeah, I don't know much about him. People keep asking me about him. I don't know much about him, but they hate him, just like they hated Rush Limbaugh. You should have seen the stuff that the left is writing. Rush said this and said that. He never said that stuff. 33 years, I never heard him say one of those things, claiming he said this, that, and the other. Yeah, he said feminazis. That's a phrase he coined. And he attacked leftists for their hypocrisy. But he attacked them on facts, not on hyperbole and mere opinion. The problem is that the previous president faced this time round is simply that people were working on the ground to get people for what? Victoria, what are you saying? The problem that the previous president faced this time around is simply that people were working on the ground to get people for what they want. I don't understand what that means. I don't understand what you're saying. The problem with the previous president is that from the outset, they were treasonous. Members of Congress would disclose classified information to the press to undermine the president, thereby undermining our nation. And they didn't care. They were treasonous. Running to the media. Donald Trump said that there are asshole countries. Ooh, he's such a cad. Yeah, he is a cad. Who cares? It's a private conversation in the White House with congressional leaders to discuss foreign policy. What the hell kind of country can you have when you can't have a private conversation and express your opinions? You should hear the vile things I've heard from African diplomats about the United States at diplomatic functions where they don't even have the courtesy to use diplomatic decorum. Have I gone and repeated it and exposed those Africans for their racism, their bigotry, their arrogance, and their stupidity? No. Because it was not right to do that. They were expressing their personal views or their thoughts, however wrong they were. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Donald Trump's supposed purported S-hole countries is something that never should have heard the light of day. Barack Obama said far worse, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you my professional capacity with one of my colleagues who briefed Barack Obama on multiple occasions about Asia. A State Department employee. told me the vile, nasty things that Barack Obama said about Koreans, about Chinese. I won't repeat them or say when it happened or disclose who the official was. But let me tell you something. I don't care what Barack Obama said about Koreans and Chinese in the context of foreign policy in a private meeting with State Department officials, and neither should you. What he did publicly is what matters. What Donald Trump did publicly is what matters. Barack Obama denied the Ukrainian self-defense weapons. Barack Obama denied them care, sent them blankets and Band-Aids. Donald Trump gave them Javelin missiles so they can protect themselves against the Russians. That's real. That's tangible. That's provable. The freaking fake impeachment was nonsense. A phone call. Good Lord. Okay, Victoria. Democrats got people out to vote. On the basis of what? Voting for Joe Biden? The hardest question was asked during the campaign was, what flavor ice cream is that? What were his positions and policies? Nobody knew. And what we did know changed constantly. Got people out to vote. That's ludicrous. Donald Trump, even if the vote is altered, got 75 million. No incumbent president in the history of this country has ever gotten that many more votes than they got when they were elected, regardless of how they got elected. Donald Trump gained 13 million votes from 2016. 13 million. And we're supposed to believe that Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, who can't string two sentences together, a proud Democrat running for the Senate, among other things, the thing. We hold these truths to, the thing. We're supposed to believe he convinced 80 million people to vote for him. And that the Democrats turned out people. That's insane. There was virtually no enthusiasm for this walking cadaver. The Manchurian cadaver is what he is. No enthusiasm for Joe Biden whatsoever. None. I don't know a single person who admits they voted for him. And I know people on the left who hated Trump. None of them admitted to me that they voted for Joe Biden. One person, an Army officer, retired officer, who got angry because I said Pennsylvania had fraud. I know he voted for Biden. That's it. That's it. The Democrats got people out to vote. Barack Obama won re-election in 2012 with less votes than he got in 2008. Donald Trump, if you take that swing, Barack Obama lost 5 million voters between elections. Donald Trump gained 13. So Donald Trump went up by 18 million more votes than Barack Obama using that metric and lost to Joe Biden? Something ain't right here. Something's fishy here. Something ain't right. I'm honest when facts are correct. I didn't say you were dishonest, Victoria, but I mean, seriously, what facts? What are your facts? Give me the percentage turnout. Show me where Democrats turned out more voters. Where they did. By the way, Joe Biden won a total of, including California, Massachusetts, New York, all of these left-leaning states, he won 17% of the counties in this country. 17% in this election. How in the hell do you win an election with just 17% of the nation's counties? We have thousands of counties, folks. 17% of the counties. That's what he won. 17%. How do you win an election? How do you get 80 million votes when you only won 17 counties outright? Even if Donald Trump won all the counties, he won the 87% by a single vote, which isn't the case. How does Joe Biden get the election? It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical. It's illogical. It's not impossible, but it's unbelievable. They got more. No, they did, Victoria. They didn't get more. They didn't get more. They didn't get more. We have instances of states that have more votes than eligible voters in counties. No, leave Victoria there. It's fine. Leave Victoria alone. It hurts to watch all this happening, especially our Chris White, who spent the prime of his life serving his country and all retire, all those atrocities. Yeah, I agree, Kyle. I shake my head. What the hell did I do? Why did I stand up for people? You know, so let me do this LinkedIn thing. Let me find that and show you that so you guys can see it, if it's there. I want to talk about this really quickly because we have an American appointed to the head of the World Trade Organization. We have an unwritten rule that Americans don't lead the World Trade Organization as Director General because it's an international body, multilateral, and we already automatically get the World Bank position. The head of the World Bank is always an American. The head of the International Monetary Fund, the two multilateral institutions, is always a European. So the unwritten rule is that an American will never be the head of the World Trade Organization. And the same with Europeans. They're not supposed to be there either. But what happened? We have an American appointed there. So I pointed it out. And guess what? I got attacked. Probably because I was a little cheeky about it. But let me just do this. Let me read this to you or show it to you. And you guys, let me see if I can find this really quickly here. If it's still there. Let me get it up here. Okay. 10 comments. 2,500 views on this. Okay. And then some of the comments. Okay. So let me go ahead and do this. Okay. Hang on. All right. So here you go. Just to show you the nonsense. Now, I'm not as active on LinkedIn as I once was because I was falsely accused of bullying someone. You know the person I bullied? I was accused of bullying? Donald Trump. Because when Donald Trump turned up positive COVID-19, I reported on it. And I was blocked. My thing was deleted. I've been on LinkedIn since month after it started 14, 15 years ago. And I've been posting on social media over 10,000 posts on there analyzing news events. And they did that to me. So I backed off of there because I don't care for that censorship. They apologized within less than an hour when a human looked at it. So I don't know if someone reported me, they were angry, or if a computer found it, but they accused me of bullying somebody. I'm like, I didn't bully anybody. Anyway, so this is a post. I do this less often, but I did this post the other day. So I'll read it because you might not be able to see it. Well, the light thinking crowd is overjoyed that an African woman is now leading the World Trade Organization. The only problem? She's not an African. Rather than default seeing someone as one of us based solely on skin pigmentation, how about seeing that person based on their conduct, their character? Let's see how long we will continue to hear the claim she's an African. Probably until folks wake up and see her ascension does not fill their bellies, just their racism. This is a quote. Trade is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end, an instrument that helps deliver development so that those who have been marginalized can be brought in. That's what she said. I said, actually, no. So trade is only a tool to help the marginalized? Really? Strange that nearly all trade is between those not marginalized. I said that, quote, 2 paragraphs above explains Trump and Lighthizer of opposition to her. Their view of trade is mercantilist, maximize exports. Oh, this is a quote. Some reason this quote's messed up. And I said, wrong. Why is it so difficult for these folks to be honest? Stop propagandizing and start telling the truth. Trump's policy, if ever instantiated, was the best approach to developing African countries. Trade is exactly what Trump wanted with Africa. It is intellectually dishonest to claim otherwise. Because this guy claimed in the article that Trump and Lighthizer opposed her because they're mercantilist. They want to maximize exports, minimize imports, and cause economic nationalism. That is not what Trump was about. It's a lie. So, where's that? Okay, let's not dismiss too quickly that we Africans see her as one of us. It is more multifaceted than it appears. Just as Barack Obama was seen by Africans in Kenya as her current appointment is a victory for women who see her as one of us. Okay, well, apparently the other comments are missing there. They're not there. So most relevant. That's why. Most recent. Let's try that. Okay, most recent. A little more comments. Trying to find, they're not there. So the comments are not there. Have they deleted my comments and the responses? Look at that. Comments are missing. See, LinkedIn didn't delete my stream, but they deleted the comments. I commented on this, and this woman came and said that, well, just face it, you have a problem with her. I don't have a problem with her. I actually congratulate her in a different post. As America's representative, not Nigeria's. The whole issue here is that she became an American citizen naturalized in 2019. So she's no longer Nigerian. She's of Nigerian origin and Nigerian heritage, but she's not Nigerian. She's an American citizen. Oh, well, she's a dual national. No, you can't owe fealty to 2 states. It doesn't work. I don't buy the concept of dual citizenship. It's nonsense. And this is a perfect case of why it's nonsense. She can't have a passport of convenience so she can leave Nigeria and escape to America at her discretion because she's done something that gets her in trouble in Nigeria. That's unacceptable. And they look at her and go, an African. No, she's a naturalized American. And when she doesn't do things in the World Trade Organization that benefit developing countries, they'll start bellyaching about America being in charge of the World Bank and the World Trade Organization. To which I'll say, no, she's a Nigerian. Have you seen the Rowan Atkins speech about free speech and cancel culture in a couple years? No, I haven't. Rowan Atkins funny. Mr. Bean is funny. I haven't seen that. Cameron, it's late. It's late for everybody. I've been at this for a while, so we're going to call it here shortly anyway, folks. Pot full of people were brainwashed, COVID, Biden. Yeah, I'm with you, MF. I am with you. Leon says, I have a question for you. You are William M. Wyatt. Where does Chris come from? Oh, I've talked about that many times on the channel, Leon, but you may have missed it because you were more frequently on Ronaldo's channel than mine back in the day. So it's a long story, but my birthday is the 25th of December, and my maternal grandfather and father didn't get along. They were in the hospital. I was born at 6:25 in the morning, and they were arguing about what to name me. My grandfather said, this is easy. If it's a boy, it's Chris. If it's a girl, it's Chris. You spell it with a C or a K. C for boy, K for girl. Although some boys are spelled with K. I don't understand that. Anyway, so they argued. My father went off and filled out the certificate of live birth at the hospital. And he wrote down William M. Wyatt. I don't know where the M came from because the tradition in our family going back to the days when we were English nobility and kings in England is that the firstborn son always took the maiden name of the mother. So by rights, I should have been William Golden Wyatt. My father came up with Martin. I don't know where he came up with it. That wasn't even his middle name. So he changed his name and then tried to make me a junior. I'm not a junior. He was William Grimes Wyatt and I'm William Martin Wyatt. So he had his mother's maiden name, even though he was the third-born son. So it was already messed up with him. His brother should have had his mother's maiden name. Anyway, so yeah, that's where it comes from. I was named Chris. So my father filled out a certificate. My grandfather named me. I was called Chris from the day I was born, and it's been a very helpful tool because people who don't know me and address me as Bill or Billy or Willie or something like that, I don't even hear it. I don't even hear it. It's Chris, if you know me. So if you meet me and and he's like, hey, remember we met? And hey, so listen, Willie, or Bill or Billy, I know you're full of it because you never knew me, because you would know that I don't go by that name. Okay. Mocha Frappuccino. Anyway, folks, that's it. I'm going to go get some exercise in. I'm not going to hit my 15,000 today because I'm walking around the snow. Cameron's dad's name is William. Cool. Leon, it's a lot more interesting than that. I just gave you the condensed version because it's running a bit late. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here. So it's going to show up as hopefully the same stream. But this was a weird stream, wasn't it? We did Mars, and then YouTube cut my stream off. That's really weird. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming to the channel today, folks. I'm not leaving YouTube, not yet. I've been shut down. I've appealed that video because there's nothing in there that should violate their community stance. I will go back and appeal the other video. I just never done it yet because I disagree with that as well. So we'll see what happens on this one. Thank you, Roy, for the salute. Thank you, Bormeister. Thank you for the super chats that came up earlier. Really appreciate it. Thank you for 59 people still hanging out with me here at this hour. What time is it? Oh man, it is 11:30 in South Africa and Namibia and Botswana. So thank you for that. You guys, Victoria says, I care nothing for free speech because people always use that excuse. They can be unkind, but Chris and I remain respectful and don't insult each other. Well, Victoria, yes, we don't. You and I are respectful, and I've defended you, 3-4 times today, and you deserve to be defended because people misinterpreted things. So, but I do believe in free speech. But free speech comes with responsibility, and responsibility means being respectful and treating others with courtesy. And not doing dangerous things like yelling fire in a crowded theater. That's not free speech. Free speech is not what the leftists call it and some on the right call it. Free speech is responsible speech. We're free to choose our partners and our mates. But if you choose the wrong partner, you have to live with the consequences. That ought to put it in language that everybody in the chat and watching the stream could understand. If you make the wrong choice, you have a practice husband or a practice wife. If you make the wrong choice, you have an unpleasant marriage. Whether you're straight, gay, or otherwise. You make your choices, you live with them. And it's the same when you say things. If you're disrespectful and rude to people, then you should expect that people will be unhappy with that. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. Yes, Victoria, I was conservative. See, I was conservative in my estimate, but I did protect you a lot. Yeah, Jessica says it's late here. It's not late here. It's 5:30. Anyway, so YouTube will be a much darker place. We don't have Chris Wyatt to light up these dark days. Well, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Speaking of lighting up things, folks, wow, we got some streams coming up. Before I run off, let's just remind you, let's see, we've got, assuming we still have a channel to work with here, we have coming up, what's going on here? Hang on a second. That's the wrong page. I got to get back to the beginning. I got so many streams coming up. I got to think about it. Okay, so we have tomorrow, special feature live stream with Dr. Colin Robinson. If you want to learn about Somalia, right here in Chris White Africa, the 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. in South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. Tomorrow, Dr. Colin Robinson, previous guest on here, one of my co-authors on academic journals. We've worked together. He's a PhD graduate from Cranfield University, UK. He's a Kiwi, so we'll forgive him for being from there. He's not a rugby fan, so that the All Black stink doesn't wear off on him. But Colin Robinson will be with us tomorrow. We'll be talking about Somalia. And it's going to be mostly him talking about it because he's the guy on Somalia. And then we have on Wednesday next week, the 24th of February, Untitled, Switzerland's premier folk music band. They'll be here, the Yodelers. It'll be the third generation. Melanie, Mike, and Kevin will be with us, not the parents. And we're going to be talking about the third generation of Untitled. And then on Thursday, we have a special feature, China in Africa, with the Heritage Foundation's Director of Africa, and that is Josh Mercevri. And he was supposed to be on this week. We had to postpone because he had to go to a funeral in Maine. So there you go, folks. Those are upcoming streams. Look forward to that. Good night to everybody. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll tell you what, it's been a long stream, and I'm going to go ahead and risk the copyright stuff. Guess what we're going to do? A little Giselle on the way out the door, huh? Okay, a little something to pick us up. How's that? How's that? You guys ready for a little pickup, a little pick-me-up? Those who are still with me here. Giselle on the way out the door. I don't know if Johan's still here, if he hit the rack already, but this is Giselle. And leck your foot up. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoy this. God bless. I got to turn my camera off. Otherwise, you won't be able to see it. I got to turn that off. And here we go. Giselle, enjoy. It looks like about 30 of you hung around, so I can't play Side Vest, but I can play this. Whoa. Wuhan. That's where the coronavirus came from. China virus. Unity Joe, it's called the China virus, brother. Just talk to the Donald. The Donald knows what it's called. It's a China virus. China virus. Carl Douglas, bring it home, brother. Kung Fu fighting. Woo! Cats were fast as lightning. Little bit frightening. Expert timing. Fighting. Carl Douglas. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. Fast as lightning. China virus. Wuhan. Beijing, Xi Jinping, president for life. It's a good gig if you can get it, man. I'd like to be president for life. That'd be pretty cool. Keep on, keep on. See you guys tomorrow. God bless and good night. Thanks for enjoying the Mars mission with me. Let's look for the videos. They'll be awesome.